Yo, 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 everybody, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Taekwon 1000 Finest with a One Piece chapter 956 discussion and Q&A. I haven't given my thoughts about the chapter yet, but I've been enjoying the One Piece chapters that have been dropping. I think they've been getting like better and better and better. And this last recent chapter is dope. Like a lot of people expected we'll get more info on what happened at the Reverie this chapter, or we'll go get to see what's going on around the world, and that is what happened. But this is dope. And I'm looking at how the part where Frankie was like, we need enough ships for 100,000, not just 10,000. So Luffy's fleet has about like 5,000 and something members in it. I think Kinemon said he has about like 4,500 members or something like that they have with them so far. So that's still like, so here's the thing. I don't think that they're gonna leave Wano with like 100,000 people, because that's like OD. Especially like if you was to say, like, let's say at best they do get 100,000 people to versus Kaido. It's like hard for me to think that they can go to war with Kaido with 100,000 people and then leave with 100,000 people. So I think that I think it's possible though that they leave. They could leave with like 50,000 people or something. Like we don't really know. But like what might start to happen, because like we've seen this structure in One Piece before, where like we go somewhere, like let's say Dressrosa, for example. Yo, 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 what's up, what's up, what's up? So like Dressrosa, for example, where like these places are like enslaved, and it's in chaos, and it's up to Luffy and the other Straw Hats to free the place. So the Wano that we've seen so far, not everyone is enslaved, but most of them are. So this could be a situation where, like, remember on Dressrosa where Fuji wanted to capture Luffy, but nobody else on Dressrosa wanted Luffy captured, and they was trying to act like they didn't know where Luffy was and stuff like that to try to confuse Fuji. So this could be a situation where all of Wano, pretty much, besides whoever is loyal to Kaido, like Orochi, and his top henchmen and stuff like that. This could be something where all of Wano goes against Kaido. And so when it's time to leave, all of Wano has to leave along with the Straw Hats. So it could be something like that, and like Wano, but that'd be kind of crazy though. That like it would get to that type of situation. But then we never seen a fight versus a Yonko before. We never seen a fight versus two Yonkos before. So it could be something where, like, when this is over, isn't no like liberating this area. Like when this is over, everybody just got to leave. You know what I mean? So like it could be something like that, or maybe hopefully Wano is a dope place. It does get liberated, and Momo could stay and could rule it or something. But interesting stuff. But I definitely wouldn't go crazy about the numbers, the 10,000, 100,000, 50,000. Like whatever it is, he might just be having extra ships just in case. I don't think it's worth really like getting into crazy detail trying to figure out if we'll leave with 100,000 people or not. And so the cover story is interesting, because in the cover story, they mistaked Chiffon for Lola. So this kind of means that Lola has to be around. So and it's interesting that this is all going on while Big Mom is on Wano. But Big Mom already said, like, something like, Lola, she don't mess with Lola like that anymore. Lola, like, kind of dead to her or something. But then Lola did say that her mom will help. So it's a tricky situation. Like, is Lola just so like bugged out? She thinks Big Mom will help and Big Mom won't help, or would Big Mom normally help, but she's in this messed up mind state, so she won't help? Or was Lola just telling the Straw Hats anything? Like who knows? Like that's what I thought. I thought that the normal Big Mom, even though she got her memories back right now, but she doesn't have all her memories back because she doesn't know what happened to Mother Caramel. But I thought that the normal Big Mom would have helped the Straw Hats, but this current Big Mom won't help the Straw Hats. So I guess there's that slim chance that the old true Big Mom can come back and can help the Straw Hats, or maybe Luffy will. He has this ability to gain allies. Maybe he can somehow get Big Mom on his side. but I don't really know. Let's see. All right, and so this next part, the information about like with Garp and everything, I think like most people got this confused. This is just what I think. So like when Garp is explaining what happened, we don't really know what Garp is talking about, but it probably has something to do with like the kings and stuff. We know Emu was like he needs to do a cleansing, so so maybe they did something to Alabasta, or maybe they tried to do something to Alabasta and Sabo stopped it. But it's tricky. It's tricky stuff with this, but I don't think that this part is what has people confused. I don't think the thing that what Garp said confused anybody. But let's just find out what he said real fast. Oh yeah, and the official translations came out, right? So if anything changed in the official translation that makes a difference, let me know. So Garp is like, because of their differing wealths and faiths, those royals have hard times standing alongside one another. And we've seen that at the Reverie. Even if they do end up working together, they'll eventually trample over each other and smile while doing it. Makes sense. So he's talking about the quality of the kings. Let's see, Neptune is like he agrees. All right, so I guess this is the part. As long as no blood is spilled, I'd normally count it as peaceful, but this time is different. So this is kind of like, if you want to be analytical, this is kind of tricky because it's like, is he saying that as long as no blood is spilled, I'd normally count it as peaceful, but this time things are different. So I guess this is saying, blood has been spilled this time. So things are different. Or, it could be a slight chance of him saying like, like no blood has been spilled this time, but still stuff is so crazy that, I can't count this as, a peaceful reverie. Because like we still don't know if the news of Sabo dying is true or not. Because if it's fake news, I'm pretty sure Garp knows Sabo didn't die. And it's tricky because like with the I'm trying to think about the Sabo thing. I know that to my memory, I know that Ace. So I know that Garp put Ace and Luffy in a place. I think Sabo was around or something like that. Like I think like I don't know. Like I think if Sabo died, he wouldn't be smiling or good about it. He would like be a bit more serious with it that Sabo died. Even though it's possible that what's up, what's up, what's up. He said Kobe not beating Boa. Like even though of course, he's gonna love Luffy the most. He'll probably love Ace the second because Ace has something to do with Roger, and then he would love Kobe. I mean, not Kobe. He would love Sabo the least. But I don't think if he knows that Sabo got it, if that's true, I don't think he would be like all happy like that. So it's still tricky. If we don't know from what I'm getting off of Garp, Sabo's not dead. Or maybe, hey, maybe he don't care about Sabo like that, and maybe Sabo is dead, and that's why he's like, too much is going on because he has to know about that Sabo fought the Amarus because even Blackbeard knew about that. I should have told you earlier, but there's one thing you're unaware of. After the reverie ended, right after there was an incident, the report came in while we were on the ship. So I'm pretty so like it's tricky to know like what actually went down because if, in my opinion, like if Sabo what Sabo did was enough to reach to for a call in to come in about that because like he didn't like he's not like a fodder character who tried to attack Charlos or whatever the guy name is or the Amarus and we're so big deal. No, he's a character who we seen on Dressrosa. He tied with Fujin and he had these other commanders with him who we don't really know how strong they were. So like that was a big deal. Whether even if like you could say that the way that this ended, the Amarus won, but like a big enough deal to be like hey, a revolutionary member is attacking Mary Joas or whatever right now. The Marines are doing their utmost to resolve it, but I'm just trying to like see if there's any clues left over. Please, I beg you, do not fear the humans on the surface because of it. Okay, so what I think I get from this is that Garp has the true news. He doesn't have the fake big news Morgan news. So when he says the Marines are doing their utmost to resolve it, but please, I beg of you, don't fear the humans. This has to be something that, all lies aside or all spicing up the story aside so the newspaper can sell. This has to be something that is really bad. That like this might make Neptunes think bad of the humans. Normally anyway, Neptune seemed to be pretty like, he was kind of like, last time there's good fishmen, there's bad fishmen, we understand. But this, like, like, is Sabo just trying to, because like, I think that Big News lied and he tried to spin the story with Sabo because I think that Sabo was just trying to rescue Kuma, but somehow Big News changed up the story to be like, an assassination was made on Charlos or whatever, an assassination was made on the Celestial Dragon, and then the admirals had to come in and get in it, and then that Sabo died. I don't think Sabo died. I think he's probably like, he probably lost, probably had to retreat. I wouldn't rule it out completely. He could be dead. Because, like, I thought the same thing about Ace. It's like, like, oh, Ace is so cool, he can die. Oh, snap, Ace died. So you don't know, like, what Oda's going to do with this. And I wouldn't care either way. Like, I already said this before, but, like, I'm not reading One Piece for one specific character. If any of these characters die, I would continue reading it. As long as it continues to stay good. And I'm pretty sure that One Piece could stay good without Sabo being alive or not. So let me see. So that's what I think happened. I think that, nobody was, like, it was probably hard to notice Sabo was trying to rescue Kuma, or maybe it was noticed, but they was like, what, this makes for a better story. Let's just say an assassination attempt. It was maybe because like you kind of can't, the way that last scene that we seen, you kind of can't rescue Kuma without dealing with the Celestial Dragon that had him in some type of way. So, but, the facts seem to be that whatever happened, it wasn't resolved yet. The Marines are still trying to get it under control. So that would be crazy if Sabo, because like right now people are thinking that, Sabo, and this isn't anything to Sabo, that like, maybe, because I think we all agree Sabo was good money. We seen him tie with Fuji on Dressrosa. Maybe these other people he went to fight the admirals with wasn't really up to par, even though it was like 4 of them or 3 of them. So, like, who knows? Maybe he died trying to protect one of them or something like that, or maybe it could be more to it than that. But it would be crazy if, Oda's trying to make it seem like, Sabo died or whatever the case is. But really, this fight between Green Bull and Fuji and Sabo and the Revs is still going on currently. If that was happening, that'd be crazy. And he's like, they're trying to resolve it. But then it's tricky too, though, because it's like, if they're really trying to resolve that, like, why not resolve it? Like, why try to resolve that, but then take out the warlords at the same time? Unless it's pretty much under their control, pretty much. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe the Sabo versus the revolutionaries things. I mean, maybe the revolutionaries versus the admiral thing. Maybe that's taken care of. But what Garp is talking about isn't something that happened onto Alabasta. Maybe it's just like, they decided to abolish the Shichibukai system, and they're gonna capture all the pirates. Don't think bad about the people for that, because at the same time, kind of like what Buggy said, and I believe it was Buggy. He's like, yo, so you're just gonna like discard us now? Like, you're just gonna use us for all these years or whatever the case is this time, and now you're just gonna like take us in? So maybe just that alone, where it's like, it shows a messed up sense of loyalty with it, because like it's like, if it was me, right, I would have. Okay, y'all not Shichibukai anymore, or y'all crimes is pardoned. But if next thing y'all do, we capturing y'all in. I would have left like that. I wouldn't have made all of them criminals. And maybe that's enough to make Neptune, think bad about the humans and their loyalty and stuff. That so it could just be that, or maybe it's the Sabo thing, or maybe it's something happened to Alabasta. But I would keep all 3 of those things as a possibility. Oh yeah, but then we do see this part right here where it's like it regards the Alabasta Kingdom. So it definitely has to do with Alabasta, and it's not to do with the Chichibukai system. But then that's tricky too though because like but I'll say that it went with the Alabasta Kingdom. I'm just trying to like see sometimes like if you don't take all the possibilities into consideration, you could miss something. Like the warlord thing slightly has something to do with Alabasta because it was like because of Crocodile and Doflamingo. Maybe you could say Moria too in a way. These warlords they aren't really doing any good. They're like terrorizing places. But this seems like something a little bit worse than just capturing the Chichibukai. So this probably has to do with the with Cobra and the stuff with Emu. Yo yo yo, what's up? Yeah, definitely 10 out of 10 chapter. And people was trying to play the chapter, like trying to be like, oh, it's a 7, it's like no, it's a 10 out of 10 chapter. Sabo is Mihawk level. He good. I don't think he's not Mihawk level to me. To me, Mihawk is stronger until we see otherwise. But Sabo, to me, he tied with Fuji. He's an admiral level character. I think what happened is that for them to lose those characters that he was with, they was all probably just vice admiral level. Different tiers of vice admiral level. That's probably why like he lost the battle. I don't think it was because of him. Like if he was there with another like if this was Sabo and Ace versus Fuji and Green Bull, I think I think Sabo and Ace probably would have won. That would have been another tie. He still got to fight Akainu. No. Here's the thing. I never agreed with that. He doesn't have to fight Akainu for nothing. Like that's where people mess up. Like the whole thing of like Blackbeard and Shanks got to fight and like Sabo got to fight. Like you got to get that Legend Mac video out your head when Legend Mac made that video, I believe, and he said that like Sabo has to fight Akainu because it's like I don't think Sabo has to fight Akainu because it's like from what I get from it because it's like I read from what I read right when Sabo meets Burgess and stuff like that. Sabo already establishes like I know what went on and I know that your captain had something to do with Ace's death, but Ace was his own man who made his own decisions, and like I don't have nothing to do with that. Or Sabo said something, like I don't have no problems with Blackbeard because of that. And Burgess was trying to mess with Sabo, like trying to be like, oh, what did he say before he died? Ace said, don't tell my brother or whatever. Like he's trying to like, get the Sabo, but Sabo had already said like like I know what your captain did. I know y'all had a part in it, but I don't have no problems with y'all because of that. All Sabo was really there for was like you're not about to touch Luffy while he's fighting Doflamingo. That's what Sabo was pretty much doing over there. And to check out the rumor about them, trying to steal devil fruits and weapons and stuff. But he already established that, he doesn't have no problems with Blackbeard over what happened. So to me, if Sabo had a problem with Akainu, or if Sabo wanted to fight Akainu, you don't just want to fight Akainu. Like, why would you single out Akainu for? Like, if you really wanted to fight Akainu, or if you wanted to fight somebody, like if you wanted to get revenge for Ace, you get revenge for Ace. That means Akainu got to get it. That means Blackbeard got to get it. That means this whole crew got to get it because those are the people who was involved in it, not just like Akainu. You know what I mean? And then again, that would even mean to some extent like Garp got to get it. You know what I mean? Like in all, it's too many people. Like if you was to do things out, it's too many people that got to get it. And I don't think Sabo it was on that type of time. So that's why he told Blackbeard, like at the end of the day, Ace was his own person. He, of course I would rather him be alive. I would have been there to help him if he was alive. But I don't got no problem with Blackbeard because of that. So based off what Sabo said, it's like implying that I don't have no problem with Akainu. I don't have no problem with you because if you had a problem with one, you would pretty much have a problem with the other. And he already said he didn't have no problem with Blackbeard. So to me, I'm not saying like, oh, it's impossible, it could never happen or whatever, but I don't think a Sabo versus Akainu fight is going to happen or that it was any build up for it. To me, this is another similar situation to like how people thought Sanji and what's his name? Sanji and Ichigo was gonna fight, and I'm like, no, they're not gonna fight. They have no issues with each other. His only issue with Sanji was when he was a kid. Right now, because he was weak when he was a kid. Right now, Sanji's not weak. He has no problem with Sanji. So the Akainu thing versus Sabo is like, nah, Sabo has no problem with Akainu. He just pretty much explained he had no problem with Blackbeard. So I never seen that happen. So I'm just trying to correct you on that. That Sabo can die, and it could be no Akainu fight. The person who has to fight Akainu would be Luffy. Luffy's the one who he scarred. And Legend Mac did bring that point up in his video, but he was like, most times in manga when somebody scars the next one, they usually fight in the future. So that's Luffy's fight. And keep in mind that Ace was dope. It's not like Ace was weak. So the fire fruit being weak to the lava fruit, that is what it is. For Sabo to get this hard fight on his hand, but he has to not only, trying to beat Akainu on his own is hard enough. Aokiji couldn't even do that. So that to have to beat Akainu and then be even stronger to try to get past the dirt event, that's too much, and I don't think that that's a fight for Sabo. Sabo seems like he has problems with the celestial dragons and stuff. Not really the admirals or Akainu. So I just don't see the Akainu fight. To me, what he said about Blackbeard clears that up. To me, anyway. Let me see. Yo, Santos, what up? Morgan, fake news. I doubt Sabo died. Probably a lead. Morgan stretches for big news. Yeah, that's what I said to us, that he and I'll get into that he kind of manipulated the news. But I think don't Sabo. It's a chance he could be. It's a higher chance he's not dead, but it's a chance he could be dead. You got to keep in mind that if Oda said something that One Piece is 85% finished or is 75% finished or whatever like that, Wano being finished, to Yonko being taken down, Sabo's dead. Now it's the Ruz versus the government, and now it's, what do you think Luffy's gonna do after that? Luffy's gonna go after the government, or stuff could be taken. Sabo dying is a good way to progress the story at that pace of getting to 100% finished easier compared to Sabo staying alive or whatever. So we just don't know yet. I would say let's wait till we get more information. But yeah, I think that Sabo and the Revs still could be fighting the admirals, or maybe they had to retreat. But keep in mind, him dying is more possible than what people think. That's one thing. I guess I'll get into details with that in a bit. Let me just read the rest of these comments. How strong Sabo has max? To me, I think it's safe to say he's equal to Fuji. And just leave it at that. You just got to understand, though, that while he showed us he was equal to Fuji at Dressrosa, these other commanders showed us nothing of the sort, because we've seen them kind of fight fodder. So we don't know their level. And that's still a high level Sabo and Fuji's at. And Sabo has a higher title than those people. In a way, kind of Ivankov could kind of have a higher title than those people too. Maybe even Kuma. So it's just tricky how strong those people was. But I know they can be weak sorcerers. I know Sabo's not stupid. But at the same time, though, I don't know if Sabo knew it was two admirals there. Sabo already showed he doesn't care about it being one admiral there. But it's tricky, though. Let me read the rest of these comments. Luffy, yeah, I agree. Luffy will fight Akainu. Sabo got washed. I don't think to me, if Sabo got washed, it's because of the people with him got washed. I don't think he got washed in his fight versus Fuji, because we kind of seen Sabo and one person versus Fuji, and then the other three versus Green Bull. What is Blackbeard after right now? We don't know what Blackbeard is after right now, but I'll say this, that Blackbeard, Joy Boy thinks Blackbeard is going after Sabo's Devil Fruit. I think it's a chance of that too. But that's if that news is even fake. Because the thing about Sabo death being real or fake, either way it progresses the story. Because I think Blackbeard was probably going to go to Wano, or he was probably going to go to Whole Cake. But if he thinks that Sabo is dead, and it's a chance that he can go get his Devil Fruit before the Marines get it, then he'll go and try to do that. And that just keeps him away from Wano for now, and keeps him away from Whole Cake for now. So say he travels there and he finds out Sabo isn't really dead, then he'll do something else. But but that at least puts Blackbeard there. But Joy Boy said something that like if Sabo was dead already, Blackbeard wouldn't go. But I don't agree with that because like when Whitebeard died, Blackbeard took his devil fruit immediately after. With Ace, Doflamingo just happened to have Ace's devil fruit in the future. We don't really know what happened to it. So what I'm trying to say is that Ace devil fruit kind of stuck around, I believe, even after he died. So Blackbeard could still, like even if Sabo is dead, he can go to the body and try to do whatever. I don't think it's something that you have to catch the person before they die in order to take the devil fruits. Um, Let me see. Oh, but what I don't agree with Joy Boy at is that Blackbeard just taking Sabo's devil fruit is like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he did want Ace to join his crew, and Burgess did try to get the fruit. So I understand that he wants the fruit, but I don't think the fruit is so important that he would go out his way to get it because it's like, I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but I mean that like let's look at what old Blackbeard did. Blackbeard always took it to the next level. He always did the what? That's what Blackbeard did. Like so, what I'm trying to say is like okay, like Blackbeard, the first. All right, so like when he's on Whitebeard's crew, he ain't just being on Whitebeard's crew. He got the most strongest Logia double fruit from being on Whitebeard's crew. You know what I mean? Like he gets the most out of everything he does. So now when next thing you know, when he's trying to turn in Luffy, he didn't just turn in Luffy. He turned into a warlord after that. You know what I mean? Like, which there's only what is it, 7 warlords? So then he takes that warlord position, which is a dope position. He's like, I don't really, man, look, I'll trade this position in to get level 5 or level 6 crewmates from prison. And he just bigged up his crew. He got Shiryu of the Rain on his side. You know what I mean? Like he does it. He does big moves only. You know what I mean? Power moves only. And I don't. And getting Sabo's double for that to me, that's not a power move compared to his other moves in the past. If they get what I'm trying to say, because unlike the darkness devil fruit that he has, the fire fruit isn't the strongest Logia, so it's not you can't compare it to that. But the stuff that Blackbeard did, getting the strongest Logia, turned into a Chichibukai, discarding that to make his crew stronger. Then what else he did? Then after that, after his crew is strong, he goes and he kills Whitebeard and takes his devil fruit. After that, he turns into a Yonko and he just like takes Whitebeard's spot completely. So Blackbeard has always been doing the next best thing, the next best thing, the next best thing, or just like doing just impressive crazy stuff. So to try to like take Sabo's devil fruit, it's like nah, that ain't what Blackbeard's doing. To me, like if Garp already hinted that this has to do something with Alabasta. So if Crocodile knows about the ancient weapon, I'm pretty sure Blackbeard knows. And now he's in a situation where like I think like if he put his eyes on the ancient weapon, he can probably get it. He's not lacking force. You know what I mean? He has Aokiji on his side. So what he's probably talking about is that like the emo thing probably has something to do with like I'm pretty sure the news didn't say all of that, but like what happened on Alabasta, like it's not hard to tell that it was probably because it was an ancient weapon. Like if you know a little bit, so I think Blackbeard was able to was connect the dots, and I think he was trying to be like unless the official translation said something else, I think Blackbeard is like instead of the Marines trying to get the ancient weapons for their souls, I think I'll get it because that would be yo he has I forget the ancient weapon that is supposed to be with Alabasta. I don't know if it's like Poseidon or like whatever it is, Pluton or whatever. But that would be great. Where it's like, yo, Blackbeard got an ancient what? Then it's like he's the man now. It's like with him having an ancient weapon. Like you could still debate. Maybe Shanks is stronger. Maybe Big Mom is stronger. Maybe Kaido is stronger. Or maybe Blackbeard is stronger than one of those people, but he's not stronger than the other two or whatever the case is. But once if Blackbeard was to get an ancient weapon out of this, then it would be like, yo, that's it. He's the man. He's the strongest Yonko right now. Like in terms of like crew, in terms of resources, and like and himself, it's like that would just put him on the next level. So that's what I think Blackbeard's gonna do because it'll be like while Big Mom and Kaido is fighting with Luffy, while the government was trying to take down the warlords and fighting with the revolutionaries and messing with Alabasta, and especially too like their forces are spread out so much that whoever is, because like let's say like Fuji and Green Bull, they're still fighting Sabo. I say whatever, Sabo's there, but they're still probably close to like Mary Joas or whatever. They might not be exactly on Alabasta. It's a chance that one admiral could be on Alabasta, but it probably doesn't matter. Like even if like Akainu was on Alabasta, I'm pretty sure Blackbeard with his whole crew could like take over that situation and get what he wants from there. Or if it's the same people again, if it's Green Bull and Fuji there, I'm pretty sure Blackbeard can just go and take over. And then with the Green Bull and Fuji thing, like they may have defeated Sabo, they may have killed Sabo, but to me, it's no way that they did that without some type of injury. So if Green Bull and Fuji is injured, then that just makes it that much easier for Blackbeard to do it. But at the same time, I don't think Blackbeard gets to succeed with this because to me, like based off what we've been seeing, I don't think it's hard to tell what exactly happened. I think that after Akainu and Aokiji fought, Aokiji didn't want to be directly under him or working with him in that way when he's the fleet admiral. So I think something happened where he was able to be under Akainu, but not exactly in the same way as the normal admirals was. Like in a different part of the government. Maybe Sword isn't under Akainu, it's under somebody else somehow or whatever. Maybe Sword is under this guy. Maybe Sword is under Kong, but it's still a government. So, maybe something like that happened to where Aokiji, he went to be a shield member and keep tabs on Blackbeard. Ex Drake went to keep tabs on Kaido because Kaido wants to start a war. Blackbeard is bugging. Big Mom, she ain't really doing nothing. She just want to eat. You know what I mean? To have this peaceful place. So maybe they didn't send no members to spy on Big Mom. And in terms of Shanks, then it's like, why is nobody keeping tabs on Shanks' crew? Shanks is another person where it's like, you don't really need to keep tabs on his crew. But I do think that there's a lot of evidence showing that, Shanks is probably a member of Swords too. And, that's probably why things have been happening with it. They've been happening. So it's like, where it's like, really, okay, we have X Drake keeping tabs on Kaido. Big Mom again. She just want to eat and she just want to have this paradise place. She's not really, causing any harm to anybody or whatever. So it's like whatever. We can leave Big Mom alone for now. Who else? What is it? So X Drake is with Kaido. They left Big Mom alone. Aokiji is keeping tabs on Blackbeard, and it's like, and if you keep in mind, it's like okay, like X Drake is good, but it's like Blackbeard seems to be a bit more dangerous. He has two devil fruits and stuff like that. So it's like Aokiji is like the only one kind of qualified for that, unless you send another admiral. So so they sent out Kiji with Blackbeard, and then if Shanks is shield, Shanks is just being shield to be shield. I mean shield. I mean sword. A sword member to be a sword member. Then it's like but this way, all the Yonko are pretty much it's helping keep the balance, and all the Yonko are pretty much not doing nothing too crazy because if Kaido tried to do something crazy, X Drake is on it. If Blackbeard tried to do something crazy, Aokiji's on it. So even though I do think that Blackbeard wants to get the ancient weapon, I don't think Aokiji would let him. But then again, it's tricky because Blackbeard has already said, and this is kind of probably like more of a hint that Aokiji is with Sword because he goes, from the start, like, we don't trust Aokiji, but whatever, he's with us. So it could be something where Aokiji tries to stop Blackbeard, but then Blackbeard defeats Aokiji or kills Aokiji and just gets the ancient weapon anyway. And with Shanks, the examples of how Shanks, and I'm not saying like Shanks has to be a part of Swords, but some examples of stuff that happened where it's like this is reasons why Shanks could be a member of Swords is that let's say that he was on Roger's crew, and you seen like with Buggy how the Marines like the people. It's like of course they keep the bounties on them, but they like people who was on Roger's crew. You see them be like ooh, we can use Buggy or whatever like that. So, but with Shanks, it's like we can use Shanks to be on our side. Besides that, when he's meeting with when he's meeting with Whitebeard, right? If Whitebeard knew Shanks was a member of Shield or not, if he was, because I'm speaking about it, as in a third type of way. So, who knows if Whitebeard knew Shanks was a member of Sword or not? But let's say like Whitebeard knew or he didn't know, whatever it is, just Shanks trying to be like, hey, you should back Ace off. And the reason why I say that he may have known or he may have not known is that when Shanks when Rockstar, right, gives the letter to Whitebeard and Whitebeard just rips it up. Whitebeard goes, Rockstar's like, hey, you can't do that. This is Redhead we're talking about. And he's like, listen, since when did this guy become so important? Or whatever. And that could be kind of a hint to like when Law was talking about X Drake, when Law was like, hey, how many people have you killed? And X Drake kind of got mad about the question. So like I always thought that when that X Drake had this crazy killer side to him. So Law meant it in a way of like, how many people you killed, you crazy person. But like it seems like that's not what Law was saying. It seems like Law was kind of saying like, like I know you're a Marine, so how many people did you actually kill? Maybe he killed some people. I think he killed that guy when he was trying to get down with Kaido. So maybe he had to kill a few people, or maybe he never killed anybody. But I think Law was just trying to like taunt him, like like how many people have you killed? Because you're a supernova with a pretty high bounty, and I'm pretty sure you wasn't killing people like that to get this bounty, or that you wasn't even like really doing things to deserve this bounty. So now when Law makes that comment, how many people did you kill? You could kind of say that's kind of similar to Whitebeard being like, since when did this red hair kid become so important? You know what I mean? Like not from the seeds that I know. You know what I mean? So if Shanks is a sword member, it could kind of be part of why he's considered to be an emperor, because he has involvement with the government, and it's not just of his own. And this does not mean that he doesn't have the skills to back it up, but it just be something like that, because Whitebeard is like, since when did this redhead guy become so important? But then when Whitebeard rips up the letter, Whitebeard goes, Rockstar's like, hey, this is Shanks we're talking about, and Whitebeard goes, look, I already pretty much have an idea of what the letter says. Tell Shanks if he wants to talk to me, he can come himself. So Whitebeard ripping the letter up, like how could he know pretty much what the letter says without reading it? That kind of means that maybe he knew that Shanks was a member of Sword, and he kind of know that Shanks was just trying to like avoid the situation, because the government sees Blackbeard as dangerous, and this would kind of add up because for some reason Blackbeard was one of the people that Emu kind of had his eyes on, and we can speculate that maybe Emu always had his eyes on Blackbeard since the day he killed that guy on Blackbeard's ship, or maybe even before that. But I would say maybe since he killed the guy on Blackbeard's ship and got that darkness devil fruit. So it could have been like the government, we think Blackbeard is dangerous. We don't think you should engage in this. And hey, Blackbeard might take your spot. So that could have been something like that. And and if y'all check out mafia movies, if y'all know about real criminal organization stuff, the cops or the FBI or whoever it is, like if you're a big criminal organization, they'll tell you when another criminal organization is trying to take you out. Like in the mafia movies, they'll be like, hey, just to let you know, these people are trying to take you out. This other family or whatever, just to put you on, or they whatever. So it's like Shanks could have been, to us readers, it's like whatever. This is just two yonkers, but Shanks could have been trying to advise Whitebeard what to do as a Marine type of thing, and Whitebeard is like, no, like or whatever. So that could have been the conflict in between the conversation, and that could have been why Whitebeard treated Shanks so poorly, to where like who are you to like tell me what to do, or like on some stuff like that. It was like like I'm not about to listen to a a Marine person or like, a secret agent or whatever. I'm about to, I only got one rule on my ship. You don't kill a member. Do kill the member, and we gotta deal with him. But at the same time, Whitebeard was being stubborn because Whitebeard did tell Ace no, and Ace went out. Ace went out anyway. So that's another part where it's like you can take some of that situation of that conversation, and if Shanks is revealed to be a member of Sword or like the leader of Sword at that point, but it's tricky though, like because it probably would be Kong. Kong would probably be the leader of that, not Shanks, or maybe Shanks is like the highest up in it besides Kong or whatever, or maybe just Shanks just is the leader of it. But if that becomes true, then you'll see what I'm talking about. How I'm like even that Whitebeard conversation could play into it some. Now the next other thing about how and even their whole conversation, because it's like parts of their conversation they had a lot of like an inside conversation where it's like, yo, your arm, someone like how do you lost your arm, whatever, like all that could just play into that. He's like, I bet on it on the future, whatever, you know what I mean? Like knowing more about Shinx in the future could add more to that conversation. Now, besides that, the whole when now look, not only did Shanks try to, and the government is the ones always trying to keep the balance, keep the balance, keep the balance. So not only did Shanks have a meeting with Whitebeard to try to keep the balance, when Kaido went after Whitebeard, Shanks stopped Kaido. You know what I mean? And even whether he did it by force or like I think he offered him something to drink, like like the sake or whatever, and they just drunk and they just talked about it or whatever. He stopped Kaido, like, no, you're not gonna like go after Whitebeard right now. So then it's like he stopped Kaido. So it's like, why? I get it. He could just be the nice guy pirate who wants to like, make sure maybe Whitebeard was his, maybe he has some type of respect for White. But I'm just trying to say that like, you can also say that, as an undercover, agent, he stopped Kaido from getting involved. So now not only did he stop Kaido from getting involved, we all know that he goes to Marineford and he looks around and he just stops the whole war. And he ends the whole war. And he's like, yo, so, and that could be another thing where it's like, and when he ends the war, he goes, if anybody wants to keep fighting, you can fight us. And now that's tricky because like, like he could mean what he says, or that could have just been a front because, he's not gonna, he doesn't need to give himself up. And what I mean by that is I'm pretty sure a lot of people think a lot of different things. Like I think the admirals know about Sword because like to me the whole situation where like some people made points that if they knew about X Drake being down with Sword, uh, Kizaru wouldn't have did what he did to him. And I don't agree with that. I think that like you're a secret agent, but I got to be an admiral and I got to do my job. Of course, like I'm gonna show you mercy. I'm not gonna like kill you or whatever like that. But I think that both of them, like Kizaru did what he did, knowing that X Drake was a Marine, but he still had to, he had to play it off. It couldn't be any awkwardness in that. Or it couldn't be any of like hey, all the other supernovas is getting effed up, yo. Like, why X Drake? Why ain't you really doing that to X Drake? You know what I mean? So it's like X Drake had to get it too to some extent. I think that's what I was. I don't think it's that Kizaru didn't know. So when Shanks comes and Shanks goes, if anybody want to keep fighting, you can fight us. That could have just been like to just throw people off, but really, the government isn't going to fight with each other. So he was just really talking to Marco and them about continuing to fight. And then the same thing with the government, like yo, just stop the fighting, don't continue fighting. Or it could be a thing where Shanks said that, but he meant it because for whatever reason, like like if Sword is under Kong or if Shanks is just the leader of Swords, it could be something where like it has that authority to go against the government if they want. So Shanks could have had meant it. It's like yo, like if anybody want to fight, you can fight us. And then with the whole Kizaru versus AJ, not like it's beef between the two or whatever the case is, but it's like okay, I'm gonna play along and I'm gonna attack you too, but I know you're one of us. Now and I always said I was like, yo, when Shanks showed up, because Shanks is a Yonko level person, and I don't think Whitebeard was a Yonko level person because he was sick and he was injured and stuff like that at the war and because of his age. So I always said I'm like, yo, like when Shanks pulled up, Akainu got soft. He wasn't doing all of that stuff he was doing against Whitebeard, but it even makes more sense in that aspect because when Shanks pulls up, he blocks Akainu's attack, and Akainu just like let it rock. Like he wasn't really on that type of time anymore. Like he was a white beard. And then I think another thing too to point out is that it's funny how Shanks goes, for better or worse, this young Marine just changed the future or whatever like that. And now we see Kobe is in Sword, so that's like more proof that Shanks could be the leader of Sword, or he could be a high-ranking member of Sword, and that after that a conversation was had or whatever like that, where he was like, hey, I like what you did. Really, I'm not really this pirate they make me out to be. I'm a member of a secret organization, Sword, and you know what? I want you to be in it, Kobe. And so Kobe was in Sword, so it's like it's Kobe X Drake, whatever, Aokiji, and whatever. It's like that definitely I noticed that, you know what I mean, and I haven't heard anybody else say that about the Kobe thing, how Kobe's in Sword, and about how Shanks is in Sword, and about how Shanks saved Kobe, and he was like, yo, I like what you did, you just changed the future, and now all of a sudden we see, you know what I mean. So I'm just trying to say that like the hints or the information is there. Now, besides that, what I was trying to get to, okay, so the whole Akainu thing. So, if Shanks is a member of Sword, right? When Shanks pulls up and Akainu stops, it isn't because it's not because like, oh, I'm scared of Shanks, you know what I mean? It would be more along the lines of, oh, okay, this is undercover agent, you know what I mean, Shanks or whatever the case is, stopping my attack. Let me not attack another, comrade. Whatever. Like it could have been something like that, which could have been why Akainu stopped. And then even when Sengoku says, normally we wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? Because that's what Sengoku was like. He's like, yo, normally we wouldn't stop, but since it's you, Shanks, and they didn't really get into detail about why, because it's you, Shanks. But Sengoku was like, normally we wouldn't stop, but since it's you, we'll stop. So, could that have meant, normally we wouldn't stop, but since you a member of Sword, you affiliate of the government, which of course I'm not just gonna say out loud like that, we'll stop. So it kind of makes it seem like it could have been that, because other than that, I don't see why they would stop. And I'm not saying like, oh, like it had to like that, but it's like other than that, like, because this isn't something that Big Mom could have done. This isn't like, because they didn't say like, oh, because you're a Yonko. It was like, it's because it's you. And even that, like, like maybe if we replaced Shanks with Big Mom and say if Big Mom stopped Akainu, he probably would have kept fighting her, because it's like, you're an enemy. You're a straight up enemy. You're a pirate or whatever. But with Shanks, it was kind of like different. So I think that, you know, with them even stopping the war, it could have been because of that, and even because of Akainu treated the way he was treated, because you did notice it was a difference, and I thought, we got to use the information that we had. So before this, it's like, okay, Shanks kind of like punked Akainu, but then it's kind of like, maybe not. Maybe he just didn't want to attack a fellow officer. So that's why I think that, it's knowledge, and this is if Shanks is that it's knowledge of the people who are in Sword to the admirals, that it's not that the admirals don't know. But I think who doesn't know is the Gorosei. I think the Gorosei doesn't know, because like it could be a secret goal of Sword to like see what's up with the Gorosei, or to see like what's up with the people who's trying to like, what's the battle the government is doing, like kind of see what's up with the people who's like right now the Marines striking deals with Kaido, the Doflamingo stuff, like the corrupt stuff. So I think just the Gorosei doesn't know, because remember when they had that conversation, when the Gorosei is like, and Aokiji, that powerhouse, he's now being an enemy with Blackbeard, and Akainu said something like, like don't, like whatever that idiot decides to do, it's none of our business, don't worry about it. Akainu, he kind of phrased it a certain type of way where he tried to make it seem like, like it's none of our business, to stay out of it. But kind of like he was trying to say, like, like it's none of your business what he is doing, stay out of it. Like, don't worry about it or whatever. So it could kind of be like, him trying to like, get their attention away from Aokiji, so they don't put one and two together. Like he never really left the government. He's just like, being an undercover agent. And the last thing that I have to say about Shanks, and then even stuff like this, like remember when this guy Ben Beckman goes, stop it right there, and Aokiji and Kizaru goes, I know who you are. You're Ben Beckman. Like we know he trolls with every single time, right? After the time skip, when we see Kizaru, he's trolling Akainu. He's like, Luffy's the fifth emperor. I'm impressed. Or he's like, he's doing all of this trolling stuff all the time. So he could have just been trolling with Ben Beckman, because if Shanks is a member, that means Ben Beckman. I mean, all of them is is down with it. So it just could have been a troll where it's like, I know who you are, you're Ben Beckman or whatever like that. Like I'm gonna stop, but then when Ben Beckman leaves, it's like nah, I want to actually like take Luffy. I want to capture Luffy actually. So I'm gonna keep going. Because like I don't think they're not like enemies with each other, but I don't think like it just might not always like they're not gonna always see eye to eye or whatever like that. Or it could be that like how like on Ohara we had Akainu who was all for destroying Ohara, and Aokiji being like yo what is this like yo you're wilding or whatever like that, like yo I can't work with this guy or whatever like that. So it just could have been like a difference of opinions on that. So because then even the way that Ben Beckman reacted with it when he goes, "Oh, so he wants to go at it still, huh?" Like from a perspective as like one Marine member to another Marine member, even though they're in different parts. It's like, so he wanna go at it, huh? Which kind of puts him in a hard place because it's like, okay, like, so do I just let it rock or do I like, you know what I mean? Like, do I fight him or whatever? So that bit has to do with it too, and I think that kind of played a part in why that happened like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that. So that would mean that Kizaru was trolling, and he did it anyway. But at the same time, the troll was afraid because like he kind of knows that like he doesn't really probably have to worry about Ben Beckman attacking him seriously because they can't really like like they're both on the same side, or it would have to be a really good reason to, and maybe what happened wasn't a good enough reason. But it's tricky because we don't know if uh, Shanks has authority to attack him or not because Shanks did say if anybody want to fight, you can fight us. But I'm just saying like we don't know if he meant it or if he was just saying that to try to appear like a pirate still. So the last other thing that I have to say about why Shanks could be in Sword is that when we see him meeting with the Gorosei, it's like, what? Meeting with the Gorosei? Like, yo, what is this? Like, is Shanks on some evil stuff or whatever like that? Or like, yo, what could he be meeting with the Gorosei for? So that's kind of like, whoa, like, why is he doing that? It doesn't really make any sense. But then if you think about it, where it's like, if he is a member of Sword, then he wears the cloak. He just gotta keep civilians from knowing and keep other people from knowing that that's him from going in there. But other than that, he can be in there because he's on a Marine base still. You know what I mean? Like he's a Navy person on a Marine base. It's all good. So because he's a member of Sword, then that means that the Gorosei does know about Sword, but they something is going on. Like there is an internal thing going on between the members of Swords and the government, or some parts of the government, because like they might know about Shanks or whatever the case is, and they might know about. But I think for some reason, Aokiji is being kept from under their nose or that because I don't think Akainu was trying to tell them about Aokiji, because I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't have a problem if they knew that like Aokiji is with us still. He's just on a secret mission. They wouldn't find it a problem, but they think that all of Aokiji's strength went to Blackbeard. That's why they're mad. But if they know about Shanks, just trying to see so like if they know about Shanks, or maybe Shanks, maybe they not, or who knows? Because maybe like Shanks is not all good, and maybe Shanks is keeping them informed about stuff that they shouldn't know or whatever like that. You know what I mean? So or who knows? Or maybe they know about Shanks, but for whatever reason, Akainu, I mean Aokiji is on the low with it, and maybe even X Drake is on the low with it, but they know about Shanks. Um, but I'm pretty sure that they know about Shanks. I'm gonna say that Shanks probably isn't doing that. Like he's not on the Gorosei side. But I think that Shanks meeting with the Gorosei is probably to try to tell him, because he said I believe he said I want to talk to you about a certain pirate. So this pirate, it could be Luffy, and it could be Blackbeard. I think could it be somebody else? Like I doubt it, because he said it was a pirate. Maybe it could have been Kaido. Maybe he was worried about Kaido or something like that. But I think it either got to be Luffy or Blackbeard. But the thing about it being Luffy or Blackbeard is it would be like a sword thing. But it's like, okay, and it even fits because he went there low key. Like he went there, like on his undercover stuff with the Gorosei. So I think it's a lot of stuff to say that like it's more evidence to say that Shanks is sword than not sword. I'm gonna meet with the Gorosei and stuff like that. But I will say that that doesn't have to be the only reason he's doing that type of stuff. It could be some type of other reason, but I think that it all adds up. But if he's worried about Blackbeard, he's worried about Blackbeard, whatever. But if he's worried about Luffy, it's like to what extent, you know what I mean? Because like it's kind of tricky to be worried about Luffy and want the best for Luffy when the Goroshi doesn't really like Luffy or whatever like that. So could he like, if it was Luffy, like could it be something where it's like like he's not really he doesn't have Luffy's best interest in mind, uh, like we had led to believe, you know what I mean? So maybe he might be a villain of Luffy in the future, or maybe it was about Blackbeard. I'll rather just say it was about Blackbeard, so hopefully, it's about Blackbeard, it's not about Luffy or whatever. Um, let's see, I know I missed mad comments. What up, what up, what up, everybody? Um, let me see if I could try to get a hold back on these comments because I missed so many. I think I passed like 20 already. Um, okay, yeah, this is where I was. Let's see. Garp is very strong. He's so underrated in the community. Old Fleet Admiral, the brains, Garp, the bronze of the old gen. Garp is smart, but not 200 IQ like Buddha Afro guy. So the only thing that um about the sword thing though was that like it would make sense that the admirals know and maybe the vice admirals don't know, but Luffy Garp was telling Luffy, he was like, "Yo, do you know what type of pirate, what type of level of pirate Shanks is? He's the same as Whitebeard." So Garp didn't really have nice stuff to say about Shanks, and if Garp knew that Shanks was in Sword, I don't think Garp would be saying that because then it's like, okay, Luffy, you want to be like somebody who's a Marine anyway. So I think that it's just a few people know, like the Gorosei, the Admirals, and Gorosei, the Admirals, and the Fleet Admiral knows, and like maybe Kong knows, but like that's it about Sword. Um, Let me see. So the only thing that might be something of to why Shanks isn't Sword or why Shanks wouldn't be Sword is the thing that they mention many times that it's something about Shanks that Shanks makes people want to become pirates. So it's kind of hard that like a government secret agent person can make people want to become pirate, but at the same time, he's not portraying a government image. He's portraying a pirate image, so it would make sense that he's just that dope of a person. I would like, but like so like pretty much like if Shanks were to be an open marine, he would make people be open marines. But since he's pretending to be a pirate, he's making people want to become a pirate. Um, let's see. Is Marco beating Queen? Most likely, Marco's beating Queen. Um, I haven't seen anything from Queen to say like no. Let's see. Dragon fights tigers in mythology. Kaido is a dragon, and Luffy did train with Tiger. They're in a time skip. Is it possible for get fourth and fifth? I don't. I don't. I think you're making a big guess about his form being a tiger form. I'm saying that it can happen, but I think that's just like a crazy guess. How would Luffy? Because you don't know what it's gonna be, or if it's gonna be even animal related or not. Like out of all of these gives, we finally get one that's Snake Man, and to say that the next one will be like Elephant Man or whatever is like that's like too much. How would Luffy go from fighting someone as OP as Blackbeard to then having a much more simpler fight with Akainu? Because the reason is like I've been telling y'all, right? First, Akainu's no scrub, but the thing is that like I've been telling y'all, the Admirals is not the end of the story villains. So it's not gonna be no he's gonna fight Blackbeard and then gonna downgrade to Akainu. No, like the Admirals will be taken care of. Like if the Admirals is gonna stay villains, they're gonna get taken care of before Blackbeard gets taken care of. Let's see. Sasano killed the Orochi in mythology. Sasano could be an upgrade from the Ashura for Zoro. Let's see. Who created the ancient weapon? I don't really know. What do you see next from Mihawk? To me, like I don't really like care what Mihawk is doing or what Mihawk is gonna do. Um, you know what I mean? Like he does what he does. Uh, and I think that these chapters might show us that Mihawk that had been like I had been scaling Mihawk correctly, and a lot of people have been overdoing it, saying that he's like I think he's on a level close to Weevil, because like if you noticed it, he didn't get any special treatment. They sent regular shit just like they did with everybody else to Mihawk. They didn't treat it like they didn't treat it like they're dealing with a Yonko. So the Mihawk is definitely not Yonko level. Like I said, I think I only put him and Weeble in that category of people who are stronger than an Amaro but weaker than a Yonko. I think that's his level. I don't think that he's people think that he's Yonko level. At Marineford, there was not two Yonko level people there. But I will say that in terms of sword, like Mihawk is a Shichibukai or whatever like that. But is Mihawk and Shanks just friends, or is Mihawk a member of Sword too, or whatever? Because Mihawk was like, whoa, 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 hold on. I said I would fight White Bear, not Shanks. Like, it could have just been a friendship thing, but it could have been like a member of Sword thing. But I don't think Mihawk is a member though. I'm just saying like it's a chance he could possibly be a member. But I think he's just friends with Shanks. But I think Mihawk knows that Shanks is in Sword, because like when he meets after he meets Luffy and Zoro and stuff like that, when he goes to Shanks and he goes, "Hey, do you have information on these pirates? Do you know these pirates?" And he's like, "Hey, so you met Luffy? Let's drink or whatever like that." Like he could have had came to Shanks because he knows that Shanks is like a member of Sword and he's on a secret operation or whatever like that. So he's probably want to know like, "Hey, like, do you know these people like as a friend or whatever?" Since they had daily dues, or as a lower ranked member to a higher ranked member, maybe he could have said that, but I'm going with that. He said it as a friend, though. But that's another thing that I forgot about how Shanks could be on. But so is that when the whole Mihawk asks him about like like do you know these pirates? That could have been sword related. Because at the same time like we just don't know a lot about Mihawk just yet. You know what I mean? Like if he has anything in common with Emu or not or whatever, like what Mihawk is doing, like if Mihawk is playing a bigger role than just the Chichibukai or not. Because like Mihawk was doing a lot of like when Luffy was brought up. I remember that meeting. It was Kuma, I believe, Dofi, and Mihawk, and he was like, "Oh, Mihawk, you came here," and he's like, "Yeah, these pirates interest me, or whatever." So we know that. What I'm trying to say is that like we know that. I believe that Dofi went because he felt like Crocodile didn't get defeated by Smoker, so he kind of wanted to know more about like what was going on. And then I think Kuma went because he's a revolutionary and Luffy's dragon son, so he just kind of wanted to like keep tabs on Luffy. And then you could say Mihawk went for what? You know what I mean? Not to keep tabs on Zoro. So it's like Mihawk could be doing something bigger than what he has been appeared, than what Oda's trying to make it seem like Mihawk has been doing. Because in that way, if we give Mihawk a bigger purpose of being there, then it's like all of those people was there for a reason. Dofi was there for his reason. Kuma was there for his reason. Mihawk was there for his reason. Um, let's see. Also, where do you have Kizaru ranked within? I gave my rankings already, so I'm not gonna re go through the rankings. You could check out my Taylor's video, and it has the Amaros ranked along with the other characters. Who's the biggest threat to the Straw Hats in the series? I would say Blackbeard. Do you think Blackbeard will be the final villain? I think Emu will be the final villain. I don't think Blackbeard will be the final villain. Like just the way that the story set things up, it's like Blackbeard. It's like Blackbeard is like Pain almost, but Emu was like Madara or something like that. Even though Madara wasn't the final villain, but you're gonna try to say like me like Emu would be a final villain way before Blackbeard would be, in my opinion. I know Madara wasn't the final villain, but I'm not gonna say like Emu was like Kalgia because it's like that's like a bad comparison. I want to see Kobe's growth. Somebody said so. Like, all right, do I think Kobe can beat Boa? No, I don't. But what I think is happening that I think a lot of people forgot is that Fuji and Greenbow had a conversation when he said like, "Yo, Vegapunk, he did it. He made something that's incredible. I'm glad I got to see it. We don't need the warlords anymore. So I don't think that this is going to be as simple as like just Vice Amarus or Rare Vice Amarus. taking out these warlords. I think that whatever Vegapunk made is better than the Kumans that they have, and that he might have made a lot of them, and that with that they can just capture these warlords like it's nothing. So I think that's what's going on. So I think Kobe just is like leading it or whatever like that. But Vegapunk weapon is going to be the manpower and taking down Boa and all the other warlords. And then again, there is still a small chance of with Kobe being a member of Sword, and it's this thing that has always been happening. Like like remember when he was at the reverie and he was talking to people and they were like, "Hey, you're smiling like you like Luffy, don't you? Like Luffy." And they was like it's okay. We like Luffy too. Come on, let's talk about it. So it is a chance that he likes Luffy. He knows that Boba likes Luffy, and that they can actually come to some type of agreement, and that he's not really going over there to capture her. He's gonna go over there and he's gonna try to get her to ally with them in a secret way. Yeah, I want to see Kobe fight too, but I don't know if we will. If you've seen the special with him, he might have the advanced hockey. No, I definitely think he has the advanced. Um, well, I know he has the advanced observation hockey. I don't know about anything else. 'Cause I didn't see any of the new movie that came out. I don't get he went up to Rare Admiral in like a week. All right, so here's the thing. I always said this, and I'm glad this happened because I think that even though that I think that Vegapunk's technology would take out the warlords if it came down to it. I do think that right now he's stronger than Smoker, and I always said I'm like, yo, next time we see him, he's gonna be stronger than Smoker. And this is making it seem like he's stronger than Smoker. And the thing with Kobe is that like don't think too much about it. He's just like on some stuff like what they're doing with Kobe, right? Um, in my opinion, anyway, like Luffy has always been a step ahead of him. Anyway, so it's like he's doing all of this, but it's like, come on, compare a rare admiral to a Yako, to a fifth emperor. It's not the same thing. But what they're doing with Kobe is something like like in Pokemon, right? Where every single time you seen Gary, he's just doing better than Ash. Like every single time you seen Gary, he's just doing better than you. Um, so they're doing that with Kobe, where it's like like you see Gary, Ash got one badge, Gary got three badges. Ash got three badges, Gary got seven badges. Ash got five badges. Gary's like, yo, I already got all eight of these badges, and I got five of these badges from another region. It's like Gary's they doing that with Kobe. So every single time we see him, he's gonna be more impressive, more impressive, more impressive. Every single time we see him with a gap in between it. So that's all that they're doing with him is that they're making him rise up the ranks because sooner or later he's probably gonna be an admiral. Let's see. Kobe had a growth, yeah, and someone who's trained in Rashiki and hockey, if he's trained in hockey, I'm just assuming, is deadly. Akainu don't know what's going on in Wano. That's not all right. So you're saying all right. So here's the thing. I didn't say anything about. So, all right. So first, all right. So I think your comment is wrong, right? Because like I said that the admirals know about Shield. When you say Akainu doesn't know anything that's going on about Wano, I think you misunderstand the panels. They're not the only reason why he doesn't know what's going on in Wano right now is because of the information didn't get to him. But I'm pretty sure that now that the information got to Kobe, Kobe's gonna give the information to whoever he's above, and they're gonna give the information to Akainu. He's gonna know. So it's not like it's not that like it's this secret operation going on in Wano and Akainu got to stay out. It's like no, he nobody know about it. It's like Kobe just because of the type of Marine X Drake is, since he's not like out in open Marine. He can't report to an out and open Marine. He's gonna report it to one of his members, and then they're gonna report it to an open Marine. So once they're gonna that impacts the world too much to like just keep it a sword thing that Big Mom and Kaido had to alliance. And I was always saying, I'm like, yo, once the government knows that Big Mom and Kaido is in an alliance, then they're gonna do their next move or whatever. But it was people trying to be like, and this was the people on King of Lightning stream too, not King of Lightning, but they was like, how are they gonna know? How are they gonna know? How are they gonna know? And it's like, yo, like they're gonna find out, like either by Big Mom and Kaido bragging about it, or look what happened. X Drake was a secret agent and he let them know. So now the government knows, and and they're gonna know that the alliance is there, and it's like these stuff is like pieces of a puzzle, so they're gonna add up. And what they tried to do by that, like when I brought the idea, and I'm like, yo, like when the government finds out about the alliance, or when the world finds out about the alliance, and they try to be like, no, how they gonna know? Is like you can't like the way that One Piece is and these things, you can't try to like stop the rest of the world from One Piece from knowing when they're gonna know. Like that's the point of it being there. Like they didn't remember this was never a secret alliance. This was like a out and open alliance. So Kobe finds out first, but the world will soon find out. And now when Akainu says we don't know about the strength of the samurai on Wano, I just want to put that out there because like I forgot who video it was, but just because somebody says like y'all gotta really like analyze what people say and analyze the stuff the chapters are showing us. So when Kizaru goes, do you want me to handle it? Right? And Akainu goes, no, because we don't know the strength of the samurai on Wano. Somebody said it. I think it was either Joy Boy or Swarrior or something like that. And he was like, since Akainu doesn't know the strength of the samurai in Wano, he doesn't know about X Drake being in Wano. And that's not true. The thing is about the strength of the samurai in Wano, keep in mind of the structure we've seen up until this point, right? So, all right, I talked about this already. Maybe you weren't in the stream. All right, it would look weird if all the other supernova is getting it from Kizaru and he didn't do it into X Drake. You can't do that. Like, if you're undercover, you still got to get the beats put on you because you're undercover. But it's like you're good. It's almost like a similar situation to like even though they didn't even though Kakashi didn't know that Itachi was undercover. Itachi still had to put the beats on Kakashi. You know what I mean? And he still had to put the beats on everybody. He put the beats on because it's like I gotta keep my cover. I can't hug you and be like, yo, I'm a Leaf Soldier too. You know what I mean? So that's why that happens to X Drake. You got to keep in mind, like X Drake was good. Like Kizaru knows that he's an ancient Zoan and he knows the Zoan has a stamina. So it's like what Kizaru didn't injure X Drake, he didn't hurt X Drake. But it's like you got to get it too. You know what I mean? You got to be able to make this look believable. And even with undercover cops and stuff like that, and like stuff like that, like I'm trying to think of stuff that happens. Like say like, all right, so pretty much say like if a raid happens or something happens and like everybody everybody like in the trap house gets arrested or something or whatever happens or whatever, like if there's any other cover cops in there or whatever, they're gonna get arrested too. They're gonna stuff's gonna happen too. So it looks like they're like the other criminals, but then really, nah, they're good. They're gonna get pardoned somehow or whatever because they're with the cops. So that's all that happened. Like you should be able to tell that like to be like, oh well, Kizaru attacked X Drake, so no, he didn't. I think that's silly. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a silly way to look at it. To me, like it makes more sense that like he knew about X Drake, but he just like he had to play it off, like oh, I suppose you don't want your, and there's even dialogue in it. He goes, I suppose you don't want your old job back, huh, X Drake? And he like attacked, like come on, like that's like they knew about it. He just had to like play along so that X Drake could like continue to look like a criminal, so they can like use him for their goals. Let's see, volume 1000 for Z said he mastered. Let's see. I feel like Drake might be hiding his true powers. Oh, so all right. So here's the thing. X Drake. Now that we know what we know about from X Drake, he definitely was like the thing. Like from what I'm finding out, right? Sanji ever beating X Drake is a joke now. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening. You know what I mean? Like Sanji's probably not strong enough to do that. Like the way X Drake is holding it down right now, he's way stronger than what Sanji. I think he's even stronger than Smoker. Right now. So it's like Drake, like he might not be as strong as Luffy, but he's like a captain level supernova to where unfortunately Sanji and Zoro is not. So like he was taking it easy on Sanji from what I'm getting. After seeing the reveal that we've seen of like him being down with the government in the way that he is, not Aokiji Shinks, Ben Beckman, a Marine. So here's the thing: you gotta keep in mind that if Shanks is a member of Sword, his whole crew is gonna be a member too. You know what I mean? Or at least Ben Beckman is his right hand too. And I had explained about how that scene, it makes more sense. Like if you look at it from that perspective of, like, Shanks is a member of the government, so is Ben Beckman. So when that whole scene happened, and he's like, "Oh, I know who you are. You're Ben Beckman," and he's like, "Huh?" He still want to go at it. And how Ben Beckman, he didn't really chase Kizaru down and attack Kizaru. Like, it's evidence to support that. Was all I'm saying. I was just pointing that out. But I don't. Here's the thing. I don't ever care who's agree with me or not. Like, I feel like, I'm blessed to understand the story, and way that I understand the story, and I'm able to, like, notice things that I notice and piece it together, and I share it with y'all, whatever. I'm not gonna, like, argue with anybody to, like, see things the way that I noticed them or whatever. So, I don't really care about that. I'm just I noticed this information. I'm just putting it out there for y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all that agree, I could agree. Y'all who disagree, I could disagree. Y'all who not sure, y'all cannot be sure. Let's see. He thinks Apu beats Kizaru. Does that answer it? I mean, Ben is implied, like Red Zoro. Let's see. Or is it just me? Laggy. Why does Akainu not know about Wano? Or why is Drake reporting to Kobe and not a higher up? I already explained that he's gonna talk to someone in his division, and they can talk to Akainu. You know what I mean? Um, he doesn't have to, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's structure. It's like, why would you talk to Akainu? Like, that's like, you got to keep in mind, like, how Queen has his assassins and King has whatever he has. One of Queen's assassins isn't gonna, like, report to King. They're gonna be like, yo, or they're not gonna report straight away to Kaido. They're gonna report it to Queen, and then Queen's gonna report to Kaido or the King. I think the reason Ben Beckman is also so deadly is because of how smart he is. Got it, got it, got it. Let's see. Also, Drake and Kobe is a weird duo. Do they even know each other? Like, Kobe joined after Drake. That's silly to, like, question if they know each other. Like, to me, it doesn't matter if they know each other or not. Like, if you're both Marines, you're both Marines. Let's see. Yeah, there's mad comments over here. Let's see. And Gold D theories, like, if you like, you can like leave the stream. Like, I see you doing a lot of hating in the comments or whatever like that. Like, you don't have to be here if you think what I'm saying is so crazy, or if what I'm saying is, if I'm overthinking it or whatever. Like I say, like I wouldn't be in somebody else's stream, like, yo, like, like if I found it ridiculous, I wouldn't be in the comments. All right, there's mad comments. Where was I at? Yo, this is like, why is it like over 30 comments, yo? This mad comments. We're gonna be here forever reading all these comments. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I think what I was about to say though is something. It was something about the. I think it was something about the Kobe and X Drake thing that I was gonna say. Oh, okay. This is what I was gonna say. Okay, so to get into more detail about when Akainu goes, we don't know the strength of the samurai. Kizaru to not go. It's not that X Drake wasn't giving Akainu any information. We got to keep in mind that since we went to Wano, right? Look at the structure that has been there, right? So like, when we get to Wano, we find out that, whatever, Kaido has his crew. Then it's the only Waban people, and then it's the other people, the ninja people, right? And then it's the what is Kirishiro title or whatever. But the important part about, like, trying to figure out how strong the samurai is that the most strongest samurai, in my opinion, the most strongest samurai, right? Kinemon, uh, and those people, like the Red Sky, they had been on the low for a long time, and they're just now starting to show their face again because of Luffy and stuff. And so I think that X Drake, he's just and he didn't. I think he doesn't have information on them, and I think that that's why Akainu doesn't have accurate information on how strong the samurai is, because those are the samurai that they don't know about. I'm pretty sure the other ones they know about, they know about like Kirishiro and all the other ones and stuff like that, and like the Shogun and stuff like that. But it's like and there's rumors of them like coming back, the Kazuki clan and all of that. So that's what it is. They don't know how strong the Kazuki clan is and stuff like that. So that's probably what Akainu was like. Whoa, 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 hold on about that. And X Drake still doesn't know how strong they are because we haven't seen them really get into any combat and stuff like that. So, maybe even though the Marines, it has already been said that the Marines, they don't have the manpower to help out in Wano anymore. But once X Drake gets an idea of how strong Kinemon and them are, then he can tell Akainu, and then they'll have a better gauge of what's going on in Wano. But I do think that the way things are going now, X Drake is going to work with Luffy to try and take Kaido and Big Mom out. So it wouldn't be any need to worry about the samurai anyway, because the samurai is pretty much going to be their allies. Okay. So I'm gonna skip through a bunch of these comments unless I see an interesting one. All right. So here's the thing. I see you saying the reason you didn't believe X Drake being a Marine before was because of the stuff that happened. But at the end of the day, he's a Marine, and that's it. Like it doesn't really matter like what you thought before. Why did Drake destroy a village? Here's the thing. See, even this, you're trying to say like, why did Drake destroy a village? The thing is that like you got to do stuff. Nobody will if you're a cop or something like that, or you're a Marine and you're trying to play undercover. No one will ever believe you if you don't like kill somebody, or like if you don't destroy a village, or you don't do something. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like pretend to be that, but really be undercover and not really do anything. This is why Itachi had to give Kakashi the work. He had to give Kakashi the business. Like, yo, into the Tsukiyomi or whatever that joint. It was like, yo, I control time, space. And it's funny because like it's a part in that fight. It's a part in that fight where no, because all right, listen, like it's a part where when Kakashi fights Itachi, right? And Itachi is like, yo, space time, he's a physical mass, I control it all. And he's like stabbing Kakashi, whatever, and a long time is going. And he's like, okay, this was 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Kakashi's like, what? This is crazy. And then he just keeps violating Kakashi. So then when Kakashi got up, they're like, yo, Kakashi, what happened? And you said close your eyes and you fell. 2 seconds later, what's going on? And Kakashi is like, wow, like 2 seconds in this world is like 3 days in his world. Kakashi's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, why didn't he could have just why didn't he just kill me if he wanted to? That's what he could have did. He could have killed me. Kakashi did mention that. And the reason why Itachi didn't just kill him is because, he was a Leaf Village shinobi. He's not gonna kill Kakashi. That wasn't the point to kill Kakashi. But he had to make it seem like, yo, I gotta like, I'm in the Kakashi member, I gotta put that work in and, keep people thrown off. And you can rant in the comments. He X Drake didn't have to destroy the village, but like you have to. People not gonna take you seriously if you don't do that. Like you think Kaido's stupid? You think he's gonna be like the way that X Drake did it now? It's like he probably has no idea whatsoever that X Drake is undercover. But the way that X Drake has, he came there, he popped somebody and he was like, I'm Kaido's favorite. And this is Kaido's favorite. What? So hold on. You trying to say if I attack you right now, Kaido gonna be mad? Pop. That's it. You know what I mean? Like he's destroying village. Like Kaido probably thinks very highly of X Drake or whatever like that. So that's what you got to do to like to like look the part or whatever. So let me see. She probably said that because of the Marines ranking. Let's see these comments. Yo, pothead, what's up? I agree with there not being two Yonko level people at Marineford. Yeah, like the Mihawk is Yonko level thing is crazy. And once the Mihawk situation plays itself out, and if he gets captured because of the new Vegapunk designs, I mean, maybe Mihawk might hide diff his way out of there or whatever like that. But like we might actually see that, like, like we know he's not Yonko level because when it's time to take out a Yonko, they always treat it in a very type of way where it's like, yo, we don't got the resources to do that and do much more. Um, but we'll see. Now you wildin'. Kid is like just as strong as Luffy or a little bit stronger than Luffy in my opinion. Or at worst he's slightly weaker than Luffy. But the thing is that, like, like, to me he's gonna put in some type of work in this when this war happens with Kaido and Big. And another thing too, that, like, Luffy at Luffy's best, all he could do was beat Big Mom or Kaido at his best. So if Luffy's gonna beat, like that, like if Luffy's gonna beat one, Kid is probably gonna be the main person to beat the other one. And like I always said, is that, like, even if it just comes to like helping Luffy beat Kaido or whatever, and let's say Big Mom escapes or whatever, uh, Kid can't help if he can't damage Kaido. So when we see Luffy training for his level 3 hockey so he can damage Kaido, and we already know that Kid fought Kaido till he collapsed, same thing with Killer 2. And we see that Zoro is kind of learning, or like his sword can like do like the level 3 hockey stuff too, or whatever. Um, to me, it's not hard to tell. Like, Kid doesn't need this training, Killer doesn't need this upgrade because they can already do that most likely. Luffy needs it and Zoro needs it to catch up. You gotta keep in mind, like, One Piece is a story where the main characters are, I wouldn't say underrated, but like they're weaker than like the people that they're facing a lot of times. And with Kid, since he's not the main character, he doesn't have that problem. So I think that you're gonna see Luffy like knowing that new hockey, he's gonna be fighting with Kaido, but you're gonna see Kid like just bust out that hockey too, like bang bang, like I've been through this. I've been in the new world doing my hockey since for 2 years now. So I think you're underestimating him saying that he was trash, and they was already comparing him to Luffy and stuff. Let's see. Yo yo yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? I actually wanted the Supernova to all be strong. I think they all are strong in their own ways. Um, let's see. All right, so let me see the recent comments. Now you're not making any sense though. It's like, how are so like you would be the he didn't have to do certain things. Kizaru kicked Drake right in the face. So what? Like, it doesn't. So all right, you so like what's more important, right? Him kicking Drake in the face, or Itachi using his powers on Kakashi, or the mission? The mission is obviously more important. You already seen that, like, Itachi, just for the mission, what he did to his own clan and stuff like that. So like it's nothing. Like, Drake is his own. Like he eats those kicks. It's nothing or whatever. It's not. You act like Kizaru crippled X Drake, or you act like Itachi crippled Kakashi. No, they didn't do it that bad. They just like roughed them up. And it's like you got to do what you got to do to keep it up, like you're a villain. And some people was trying to say that like Luffy's not gonna want to work with X Drake because what he did to the village. Luffy's not gonna care about the village. Luffy's not stupid. Luffy can understand that, like, okay, X Drake, that's what you had to do, because X Drake would have to explain Luffy somewhat about, like, the whole thing about the sword or whatever to some extent. Whether he's just telling him about him or they telling him, like, like, I'm in it and Kobe's in it or whatever he tells Luffy, whatever. But once Luffy understands that, like, he's not a real bad guy, he's just pretending to be a bad guy so he can actually help Wano, then he's in the same camp. Like, he has the same interest. So, like when Luffy teamed up with Capone to take out Big Mom, they had the same interest. Right now, they have the same interest to protect Wano. So, like, I think what you're saying is like kind of. I think what you're saying, but they didn't have to go D is kind of silly, because it's like, all right, say like if you live in a area that has a lot of gang violence in it, and like every other day, like, is people robbing you and fighting you and stuff like that. And say it's an undercover cop who's trying to like help make your area good again. And so the undercover cop one day like sells you weed, and then you buy the weed, but he takes his weed back and he pistol whips you in the face, or like he takes his weed back and he pimp smacks you with something like, "Get out of here! this is whatever block, whatever he makes you run or whatever like that. It's like you'll be upset, but I'm pretty sure that like if when he does what he does and he like arrests all the bad guys or whatever like that, and now you don't have to ever deal with that anymore. Again, you'll be happy. Or just like I said, just sometimes like it definitely been shootouts happening where it's been cops shooting out with undercover cops, but they make sure they don't you know what I mean, like they make sure they don't kill each other, or they try to make sure they don't hit each other. But it even been times where it's like like they might have to shoot the undercover have to shoot the undercover cop in the leg, whatever like that. If it's like a big case like that or whatever, and stuff like that. Like you see it happen on like documentaries, and you see it happen on like TV shows that's like based on like real life stuff like that all the time. So that's not a good observation to say that like one like a cop can ever what I mean. It's like it's no big deal. He just kicked him. Itachi only made Kakashi faint, whatever like that. All right. So let me see if there's anything else that I want to say about this chapter. And yeah, I didn't get to make it to Rago's stream when he was streaming. I didn't read the chapter yet, so I started reading the chapter. I actually wasn't feeling good, and I actually fell asleep. So when I woke up, I think I missed his stream by like when I woke back up. I think I missed his stream by like an hour or something. Let me see. So I would go more into detail about the chapter, but well, let me see. Well, I think there's only one more thing to talk about actually. So like, let me just talk about this one more thing. Yeah, there is only one more thing to talk about, and that is the whole thing with Sabo. Even though we kind of talked about it already. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to add to it. So I just want to say that, in my opinion, from what I read, Big News Morgan's right. He got the information, and like what we see on page 8 is him like now that he has information is like him like trying to see how he's gonna deliver the information. So he's like, there was a death, an obituary on the front page will make the papers fly off the shelves. So like he's just trying to be like, like okay, like he's like to me, this is like him brainstorming. There was a death. No, 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 no. Like pretty much like you don't have to like. Some people get mad when like I add on to what's here, but I don't have to like add on. Even like what it said, like there was a death, an obituary on the front page will make the papers fly off the shelves. But it's at the same time, this is still like him being like there was a death. No, 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 no. An obituary on the front page will make the papers fly. So like him just like he's brainstorming or whatever like that. Because like I'll use with the word that it is. Okay, there was a death, or pretty much like it does have the exclamation points. There was a death. An obituary on the front page will make the papers fly off the shelves. But the results of the conference would also be fitting. Then again, like another topic, an assassination attempt would also grab everyone's attention. So I think this is like him just trying to like take the information and try to play around with it. And I think we've seen him play with information before with the Jack stuff when he said Jack was dead, but Jack wasn't dead. It's just because like what makes for a more interesting story? Jack attacks Marines and escapes, or Jack attacks Marines and dies. So I think that's a problem Big News has. Is I think that like what's a more interesting story? Sabo attacks Marines or Sabo dies. So I think he just went with Sabo dies. And I think the same thing could be said about Sabo that you could say about Jack. Like when Wanda goes, uh, you know, if you seen what Jack did, it's no way he's dead. Like I know the paper said he's dead, but if you seen how what Jack did on Zoe, it's no way he's dead. And I think the same could be said about Sabo. Like if you seen what Sabo did on Dressrosa, um, it's no way Sabo's dead. You know what I mean? Like Sabo's not gonna die. Like that's them playing with the news or whatever. So I think that he just manipulated this story. Like he manipulated the information in a way like like Sabo and the Revs could still be fighting, or Sabo he could have like retreated or whatever. But Big News are are his condition could be unknown, but I think Big News just took that he died and he ran with it. And I also think that he he took Sabo trying to rescue Kuma, and I think he flipped it to be like, instead of saying that, Sabo was fighting the Marines, or instead of saying he tried to rescue Kuma, it's better to just say that he tried to assassinate Charlos or something like that. Just the paper, so they'd be like, Sabo died. He led an assassination attempt, and then the other news that he got later. And then some people were trying to be like, okay, and in this part too, he's like, we'll publish two of them on the front page, make the one, and then so look, we'll publish two of them on the front page. So that means that it's two different stories on the front page. So maybe that's the stuff about Sabo, the stuff about him dying and the assassination attempt or whatever. And then on the back could be what was the other thing? Could be the results of the conference, like the Shichibukai stuff. Um, and then now the check about the government comes, and then he goes, "I suppose you want me to change one of the headlines. I wonder which one it's about." And he goes, "There's no way I can let this incident be covered up." So I think the government was like, "Yo, the Shichibukai thing, that incident, don't tell him." He's like, "No, like I gotta tell it." That's what that was about. That wasn't about the whole newspaper and all. It was just with the government set this whole thing up. It's like, nah, I don't think they did all of that. They wanted to stop Big News Morgan. Big News Morgan did what he did and put the paper out anyway. Um, so, oh yeah, and then another guy gives him more news. The guy that calls later. But here's the part, right? When I say that they're only talking about that one headline, not the Sabo stuff, because the Sabo stuff is definitely made up. He even says it himself. He goes, "Don't you dare underestimate the amazing Big News Morgans." But he goes, "I am a DJ of words, one who occasionally spin lies to move the hearts of the people. I decide what these colors." So now he even admits it right here that he occasionally spins lies. So I think that the Sabo dying, that's him spinning a lie. The assassination attempt, that's him spinning a lie. But what happened with the Shichibukai system, that's the truth. And I think that's what the government, they didn't want him to tell the truth. That's what that was about. Some people get this confused and they be like, no, everything he's saying is the truth. That's why he said that's why he said there's no way I can let this incident be covered up. And keep in mind too that saying Sabo's died, that's not covering anything up. Saying an assassination attempt happened, that's not covering anything up. But to not mention the Shichibukai stuff, that would be covering stuff up. But shout out to Big News Morgans for really telling the news. Um, and so part of the Rev stuff. Wait, where's Ivankov and I'm at? Oh, okay. So now when we get to the revolutionary stuff, where they're like, wait a second, what's going on? There's no way this can't be true. Sabo, this isn't the economic newspaper that big. So it's like even they kind of know, or even Ivankov kind of knows that, like, kind of like how Wanda knew Jack was, and then it's like even Ivankov kind of knows that this is like fake news. Um, this is Sabo we're talking about. This is unthinkable. And it's tricky because, like, just the thought of Sabo dying alone could be unthinkable. But if it was some type of thing, but they tried to say Sabo tried to assassinate, that's the reason why he was fighting the admirals. Then that could be something too, where it's like, that's unthinkable. Sabo wouldn't do that. I refuse to believe it. Dragon's like, first of all, let's confirm it for ourselves. But what I want to mention too, Joy Boy said in his video that what did he say? He said that Sabo just got captured and that he's not dead, and this is what all this is about. And I don't think that Sabo got captured because, like, if we compare this to when people heard about Ace getting captured, nobody really cried. I believe nobody really cried when Ace got captured. Um, and the people that are like reading this, like, this is a lie. Like this, like that's a weird way to act over just Sabo being captured. And then even this, where they go, we still can't get in touch with them. How are we supposed to confirm it? So pretty much, like, if the newspaper was to come out and say, uh, Sabo's captured, and he's captured. There's no confirming that. You know what I mean? Like, but on the other hand, if the newspaper was to say that Sabo died, then it's like, okay, we let's try to confirm this. And then like even this, like this doesn't like the paper saying that Sabo dead. This makes sense. We just found out he was alive. How can this be true? Sabo, this has to be a lie. So now, if it was just that he was getting captured, because like Ace got captured and Ace got freed almost. It's just because like Ace kind of went back on his own, whatever like that. But you know, like him being captured, somebody being captured is not the end of the world type of thing or whatever to be crying about. You know what I mean? Like nobody cried when Ace was captured. They cried when Ace died. So I think this is like the paper said Sabo. The death is they're talking about Sabo. So I know some people wasn't sure about that. Um, and I thought that somewhere. Okay. So we just found out he was alive. How can this be true? It has to be a lie. Let me see something. He was in Mary Jo as my brother was there. This is a lie, right? You still can get in touch with them. So yeah, so like Sabo, we're talking about a thing of fuse. So yeah, so like when they say, we just found that he was alive, how could this be true? I think that it's more of because of the news said he died. So this is D Block. Let's see. We think happened with the Revs. Well, either Sabo fought them and he lost and he had to retreat, or he are they still fighting, or he could have died or whatever like that. Like we do got to keep in mind that he did say, and this was of his own words. Uh, he said like, so I forget exactly what he said, the exact same way that he said it, but he did say something like, we're gonna free Kuma, even if it means our lives. You know what I mean? Like we got to do this or whatever like that. So I don't know what chapter that is. I would look back at the chapter, but I can't remember what chapter that was. But did he Sabo does say so? Like the whole thing about him dying wouldn't be too uh like not possible because it's like it's two scenarios. One scenario is that like like instead of being there is no retreating when you say we're gonna bring Kuma back with our lives. There's no retreating when you say that. Or there could have been the situation where like maybe one of the other commanders was dying and since Sabo maybe Sabo felt like he kind of got them into it, so he kind of like he died trying to protect somebody else, kind of like how Ace died trying to protect Luffy. You said Dragon seems yeah, because like losing Sabo is a big deal. You know what I mean? Like Dragon was going to declare war on the government, but it's like now like the other thing too is that like who knows if now without Sabo, if he can even continue to declare war on the government? Because say like if Sabo died, right, the other four got captured, or the other three got captured. I forget exactly how many people was with Sabo. Then it's like dag because he just called all the other commanders. So now it's like what is she gonna do? Um, I mean the pawpaw fruit would be overpowered devil fruit for Blackbeard to get. Yeah, but I don't think Blackbeard's looking for a devil fruit. I think he's gonna go for an ancient weapon, like something bigger. Um, you said he said success or death. Yeah, that's what I mean. So Sabo did say, like we're gonna do this or die trying or whatever. So and it's not hard to tell that what the newspaper is telling us that they didn't succeed. It's a small chance that the paper could be trying to say that like it's still going on and the government is trying to resolve it, but that's not really accurate either because we just don't know. But so if they felt and Sabo really meant what he meant, which he seemed like he did, you know what I mean? Like this isn't like a BS death and like that. This is like Sabo really was like, no, not the nice guy Kuma, or whatever like that. He don't deserve this. We're gonna rescue Kuma or we're gonna die trying or whatever. And they didn't rescue Kuma, so they all died or whatever like that. Maybe. But I do think that Dragon should have probably told Sabo more about what was happening because see, Dragon did tell Ivankov what happened to Kuma, but I don't think Dragon ever told Sabo more about the Kuma thing, like if he had a plan with Kuma or not or whatever. So I think Sabo did all of this out of like not being put on to like the details of his friend Kuma or his comrade Kuma. That's why he did it. It's like like because say like if he knew about a plan where it's like nah Kuma's cool Vegapunk actually like Kuma's good, then he probably could have been like okay like whatever. But I think just Sabo seeing Kuma there and stuff like that, it's like nah we got to catch him back with our lives or whatever like that. So I think that uh if he is dead or whatever like that, like this might Dragon might take this as his fault somehow, or this might be like like if the information comes out or whatever. Like, but it almost happens or whatever like that. Like when him and Fuji almost fought to the death, Sabo said something like he said it or Kawala said it. One of them said something and they was like, Sabo, you almost got the revolutionaries in trouble. And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, sorry about that. So if him fighting Fuji almost got them in trouble, I'm pretty sure that him fighting Fuji again, in Green Bull, but for real this time, no holding back, gets the Rebs in trouble. And like, how does it get the Rebs in trouble? That I don't really know, but like I guess that's not a. I guess that like you can't just fight an admiral out the blue like that, like without Dragon's permission. So something could happen. Like even if Sabo's not dead, even like if he's like hurt and all those members is hurt or whatever like that, like it could just might mess with Dragon plan, and Sabo might get in trouble with Dragon or something like that, or maybe I think like something with Dragon and Sabo might happen, or something with Dragon something like that might happen. Like it might even be possible that like say if Sabo died and the other ones got captured, and Dragon just doesn't do anything about it, that could be something to finally like give Luffy a reason to be mad at Dragon about. Where it's like like so you found out Sabo died and some of your people got captured and you're not gonna do nothing about it. Like nah, you're not my dad. And then, like something like that. But Luffy be like well I'm gonna do something about it. Maybe Ivankov is like like yo your son kind of right or whatever. Maybe something like that. And then maybe Luffy finally gets Dragon to like do something or whatever because that this could really mess up Dragon's plan to lose all his best commanders besides Ivankov now, and that other girl that's there. Um, so let's see. Yeah, if you don't ask silly questions. If you see its names of the people on the bottom of the screens, like why would that be me? Uh, so yeah, it's tricky. You know what? Like I gotta read that chapter over because like I thought that we seen Dragon at the Reverie too, and he was like, I'm gonna declare war. But I guess Dragon was back at the Ivankov Kingdom place, and he wasn't at the Reverie. So I don't know. Like I gotta reread the Reverie chapters over when Dragon said, he's gonna declare this war. So because it's tricky because it's like depending on what those chapters showed or not, it could have been that Dragon was on some we're gonna declare war stuff, but Dragon left and they stayed and all this happens. Maybe they was all supposed to meet back up, but they stayed, or maybe Dragon never was there. So it's at this point I don't know because I don't remember what chapter that was to go look back at it. If you declare war, shouldn't Dragon go? No. But I'm saying it depends what was happening because like maybe Dragon, like if Dragon was at the if Dragon was at the Reverie, like we're gonna declare war. Then he was there. But if he was back with Ivankov still, then he wasn't there. I'm saying, or he could have been there, but somehow he wasn't with Sabo and them, and he thought that they was all going to meet back at Ivankov's place, but they didn't because they got into that situation with the Amarus or whatever. Um, I think Kuma was Dragon right hand man before Sabo. Um, I think Ivankov was Dragon's right hand man before Sabo, and Kuma was like the Sanji. I thought so too, but he was a former officer, which is weird. chapter 908, former officer is implied as the right hand before Sabo, honestly. So yeah, like I've been put that together that Ivankov was Dragon's right hand. Like you can tell by the interactions and stuff that they had. Um, Let me see. You said chapter like 90 something. Let me see if I could find that chapter. No, that's not the chapter. Well, I don't know what chapter the reverie is, but I wasn't trying to stream for too long. This is an hour and 50 minutes. I appreciate all of y'all being here. I'll see y'all next time I do a stream for the next chapter that comes out. I'm looking forward to it. Um, you said how strong is Sanji compared to the Supernova? To me, like Sanji is as strong as Zoro. Like this is, I don't think is any more to talk about whatever like that. So like whatever you think Zoro is, like just put Sanji there. I think Zoro and Keller's the weakest to the Supernovas. Thinks. Peace.